All right, hello again. So today I'm going to be working on the 2026 Ducati V4R. What I'm going to do is install the USB-A connector outlet. So what it is, it's a replacement panel. We'll replace this piece right here with this one, and this includes the actual USB port, also the wiring harness. So I think what I have to do is remove the upper fairings and also the middle front fairing here. So to do that, again, we'll access the screws, pop this panel out. Reason for removing this is so we can gain access to the wire harness, factory wire harness that the wiring harness has to tap into. So yeah, it should be fairly straightforward. We'll see with the disassembly. I'll walk you guys through it and see how this goes. Okay, first step is remove these 4mm screws here from up on these bolts from the top of the fairing. Okay, what we have here is to remove the side panel here, we will take out this 4mm screw and also this 4mm screw right here as well. Okay, now that this side panel is off, you can kind of compare with the replacement USB-A port panel. Pretty much same fitment, except that we have this slot opening for the USB port. So the USB port will be accessible inside your front fairing area for weatherproofing purposes and whatnot. So it looks like, you know, pretty straightforward. Okay, now for the right side, same thing, a 4mm here and a 4mm here, and that should pop off. Same thing with, you want to pop off on this side and slide it a little bit backwards and twist off downwards. Okay, now that the screws are out, we can try to remove the panel. Let's see, pull this forward, slide back. There we go. Something. There you go. Comes right out. Okay, now that you remove the two plastic trim pieces, in order to get, take off the upper fairing, we have the two cap screws here, the 4mm. Another 4mm here that goes into the headlight housing on either side, and the 3mm fairing screw with the nylon washer underneath. And of course you had the flange bolt underneath here. So if you saw the video from the last time, those are the screws, and the front fairing upper part should just pop right off. Okay, now we'll tackle the flange bolt here. Okay, now that all the bolts are loosened, screws are out, we should be able to pop the front off right here. Grab onto the nose and pull it. There you go. Came off right here. Here and in the front grommet here. So you see I put some white lithium grease last time that helped the insertion and pulling out of the grommets without it deforming or popping out. So good stuff. Okay, now in order to take out the middle front fairings, there are several 4mm, it appears, down here, two in front, that goes into the headlight housing. one here and one here, and looks like a fairing screw here and one down below here. Also underneath there are 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the flange bolt has been taken out. I think 2 of these are also flange bolts. So with that taken out, the front should also slide out fairly easily. Okay, we'll see. All right, so be warned that these flange bolts, the 4mm inside, a little hard to reach. So you gotta use a flashlight and a couple of right extensions. I use this ball rounded Allen to kind of reach down there and loosen up. Also down here in the front fairing, the 2 back bolts are flange bolts, and the 2 front ones are the fairing style bolts with the nylon washers, and they're all 4mm. Okay, once the front screws are out, the remaining 2 left are this bottom one here, which is a 4, and from the top it's a 3. Also, something to note, this bottom one is another flange bolt with a washer because it comes in contact with paint. Okay, I believe there are all the screws that needs to be taken out, and we'll try to see if this comes out. Wow. Just like that, guys. The front middle fairing holding the winglets are out. So looking at the pigtail wiring harness, it looks like this is the connector that we'll have to use because it's capped off, you see. And the wire harness should be pretty straightforward. You take that off and this will connect to it. And you see this is pigtail here, so it looks like it's you know, this goes into the USB connector end, and you'll have another spare connector for some other use. Looks like we didn't really have to take off the front mid fairing if you didn't want to, but I just followed the standard instructions, and you know, figure out how to take out. It's fairly easy anyway, so for future reference as well. Okay, so the next step here would be to assemble the USB socket to the side panel here. So you can kind of see that this would be fitting into the front fairing inside this way, and this opens up, and see if we could somehow slide this in. Fits in one way. Just like that, and press. There you go. Looks pretty flush. You open it up like that, you'll have this weatherproof kind of a USB connection here. Okay. Now I took the little weather protector off of the connector pigtail and see what this fits. Just like that. Heard it click, and maybe I'll route it underneath this wire bundle here. All right, better without gloves. All right, so it looks like we'll route it pretty clean this way, and this will plug in to the inside of the plastic inner trim. Pretty straightforward. Okay, in the reassembly process of the front fairing, I noticed when we pulled off, there's 2 more silicone gaskets right here, so we should apply some white lithium grease to these points as well. These go on these pins right here, right there. Okay, let's see if this goes back as easily as it came out. Can I get this realigned? Pinhole here, also right there, grommet. Okay, that's in. This is in, and that's in. And push. All right, very easy. Looks like it's all aligned. This can fall out quite easily, so you want to hold on to this before you go and grab your screws. So I'll go ahead and hold on to this side. Let's see if I can find the 3mm. It was the 3mm without nylon washer. Okay, get that threaded in. So we do the other side. Yeah, the thing about Ducati fairings is the fitment is really, really tight and exact, which something I like about Ducati. The fitment of the fairings are super precise and repeatable. You could remount them without it looking like you've ever done anything to them. Okay, now that we got these two fairing screws in, the front fairing is going to be held in. You don't have to worry about falling or scratching your fairings. I will recommend then to reverse the sequence of tightening your bolts and screws, starting with the hardest access one, or the two flange bolts down here and, on each side. So let's start with that. All right, so I would recommend getting a bright flashlight and hand threading these to get started. Since they are kind of in a blind corner, you want to get a good feel and get it started before you use any hand tools. Okay, now you see 1 and 2. They're in. I use the socket attachment to help me tighten it a little bit, hand tighten a little bit more before I get the ratchet in there. And I'll probably zip tie the pigtails here to make it a little bit more tidy once we get the panels ready to go, but I'll do that later. First, okay, seems like it's hand tightened. Now we'll ratchet it down. Okay, so in putting back the screws, as a reminder, these two back here are these flange bolts, and the ones in front are these round head screws, Allen screws. All right, so I put the fairings all back together, and you can see I've also routed the wire harness, and I cable tied it to this little cable tie fixture here. And also I tucked in the extra pigtail connector on the inside of the fairing. There's a location for that. And this would be the connector for the USB port. So with that, I think we're ready to reassemble the inner plastic panel, and we should be done. All right, so you see on this pigtail, we got this dummy connector here. You just gotta push this and pull out, and you see that's a dummy load. And we can go ahead and plug this in now. Let's see. All right. Now that's in. Get this tucked back in here. And we're ready for reassembly. Get this all tucked in underneath. A little bit of a struggle because that USB port is much thicker now. Tuck it underneath. Okay. Tighten the slots. Through. And there you go. Now all that remains are the two screws. All right, moment of truth. You see the USB port is connected. I'm using an USB-A charging cord for the GoPro or for the Insta360 Go 3S. Moment of truth. Let's fire it up to see if it starts charging. It looks like there's power. It's a ignition switch. You see the red light is on, meaning that it's charging. Turn this on, and it indicates charging, a little lightning bolt there. And as I turn off, it is still powered. Nope, it's off. So it is switched. Okay, there you go. This is all finished up. You can see the USB is accessible by this little port here. You open it up. Now it is switched to the ignition, so it'll be powered when you turn your key on the on position, and subsequently when you turn it off, the power will be cut. I'm a little bit surprised that Ducati's still stuck with the USB-A. A little disappointed that it's not a USB-C. I guess I can understand if it doesn't need all that much current draw to charge your camera or your phone or all that other wonky business. However, I probably do plan on getting the quad lock wireless charging head for this bike as well, and also just directly wire it to the fuse box with a tap a fuse or add a fuse. I really like that function, just to keep it seamless and clean and keep your phone charged when you're riding around. But this adds a little additional OEM option with the powered accessory port with the USB-A. You could probably connect a 360 cam or dash cam or some other accessory that requires the 5-volt accessory. So yeah, it's a pretty simple fairly inexpensive upgrade. It was $80 something directly from Ducati. I ordered it from Ducati Omaha and they shipped right away. So quick little DIY. You want to keep it all tidy. I would recommend taking off the full front fairing, but you could probably access it just fine by just replacing or taking off the plastic panel. With that being said, this is a fairly simple upgrade again. Recommended as a DIY.